The holiday season often brings joys and stress, while holiday celebrations offering more opportunities for alcohol consumption. However, the beer producing company Zambia Breweries is committed to creating a culture of responsible drinking by promoting moderate consumption of their products and addressing alcohol-related harm in society. Zambia Breweries, therefore, aim to celebrate the positive aspects of moderate beer consumption and to produce beer as a relevant and responsible choice with a role to play in the good life to which modern consumers aspire. Even though irresponsible drinking does take place, Zambia Breweries are committed to combating it, and hence, cheers to responsible drinking.
I'm here to talk to you about our smart drinking program that we have rolling out this year. This is the second year that we have the program running. We first started towards the mid last year when we introduced the program in recognition of the challenge of alcohol abuse that we are seeing in the market, a number of consumers abusing alcohol, and therefore we're trying to bring about a mindset change through different platforms through this program. Now, smart drinking is basically responsible consumption of alcohol. Responsible consumption of alcohol is knowing when it's too much, that you have had too much. Obviously, this depends on individual to individual, but then there are certain basic criteria that should be observed with regards to smart drinking. First of all, alcohol should not be served to underage consumers, that is, consumers who are less than 18 years of age. And then secondly, alcohol should only be enjoyed for socializing purposes and not for purposes of enhancing oneself to either overindulge, because then they believe that it makes them perform certain functions much more effectively. And also just this idea of binge drinking, that is consuming excessive alcohol in a very limited space of time, should be discouraged. Because then, like I said, alcohol is supposed to be enjoyed over a social occasion to create memories amongst family and friends. This is a celebration of those that enjoy alcohol in a responsible way. So another important element is where we actually go out and have outreach programs in the communities, talking to consumers, especially young people, about the dangers of underage drinking, and also the negative impact of that on society as a whole. We intend to do this through partners, including some of the civil society organizations, NGOs, as well as our own influencers. So those same influencers that help us when it comes to creating brand engagement and advocacy, we intend to also partner with them to also then create awareness about responsible drinking, because obviously they do that in a way that resonates with the target consumers, who also happen to be a large part of their following. So we intend to leverage on that relationship that we have with them to create about this social market, to undertake the social marketing to create about this mindset change with regards to how people should consume alcohol.
To address irresponsible drinking effectively, everyone from retailers, bar owners, educators, and parents to law enforcers, role models, and not least consumers themselves need to be involved.
As usual, the Road Transport and Safety Agency, again, this festive season is back on the roads, and what we're trying to do is to ensure that people adhere to traffic regulations, especially during this period. As you are aware, we have more volumes of traffic during holidays, and this is when we have the highest risk when it comes to road traffic accidents. So we're trying to do everything possible to ensure that people are safe on the roads. We are out on the roads with a theme this year, which is Drive Sober, meaning that we are putting a lot of emphasis to see that motorists during this period are not driving. And we know this is one of the factors that contribute to road traffic accidents. So far, so good. We've seen a bit of compliance. We'll be doing this every day to ensure that there is compliance among road users, and every road user is safe on the road.
Effective regulation must be supported by concrete, targeted actions, and Zambia Breweries works closely with organizations across the industry to define commitment and find meaningful ways of addressing alcohol-related issues.
Hey, my name is Chola Lungu, Executive Director of My Zambia My Responsibility. We are at Africa Directions in Mtendere today, where we're mentoring close to 50 youth in different skills. It's that time of the year when we like to enjoy ourselves and have drinks. As My Zambia My Responsibility, we've been running a series of mentorship sessions especially for young men. Our aim really is we're not saying stop drinking, but that they're all above 18 so that they should drink responsibly. So as an organization, we started partnering with different people, individuals and organizations, and we designed curriculum and sessions where we could talk to young men in 3 key areas. So we talk about their careers, we talk about their health, and also about their faith.
The most important thing about beer is taste. But beer is also a social lubricant that to a certain extent can make people relax and feel good about themselves and others, if they stay within the moderation limits, that is.
My name is Michael Mulusa, and I was born in Zambia, Solwezi. And at a very young age, I relocated to South Africa, where I was staying with my parents. And I was a very good soccer player and an athlete and stuff like that. When I was in the 8th grade, I got introduced to a substance called marijuana. And I started smoking. After that, started smoking cigarettes. From there, started drinking lean and experimenting with ecstasy, molly, etc., etc. Until I eventually became very addicted to drugs. And I was a soccer player and an athlete. So my soccer career ended, and my athletics career also ended. And I used to be that type of soccer player that would travel around the world playing football, around Africa and around Europe as well. And in 2013, I went to Barcelona to play football. And in 2014, I was in Chinama, here in Zambia. So it's a journey, it's a roller coaster journey. After Chinama, I don't know if anybody knows who's ever been in Chinama. So after Chinama, because I dropped out of high school as well, I went back to high school. I finished high school, then I went to university. And then it became very hectic. I was beyond return. And I dropped out of university and I was on the streets. And I became a street child. And I think you've seen people on the streets carrying plastics and all that, and I was staying in the bushes. And while I was staying in the bush, a bad incident happened. And I had nobody, I had no friends, I had no family. And while I was in the bush, I was begging to smoke some ganja. So as I was begging people to smoke, I had an encounter with a snake. Very bad encounter. And that made me leave that bush that I was in and made me to go to look for another bush to stay in. As I was going to that bush to stay in, I heard a sermon being preached inside the church. So that sermon made me say, oh, let me go inside the church. And plus I was like, oh, I can't go inside church because you know how you dress when you're on the streets. As I was thinking to myself, I don't know how I found myself inside church. When I was inside church, when I left after the sermon, from that time, I felt something heavy leave me. And ever since that thing left me, that was 2019, very recent, I have never smoked nor drank before.
Oh my God.
Stakeholders are equally committed to the Cheers to Responsible Drinking and its implementation of a collaborative solution to disrupt harmful drinking.
My name's Crispin Chinda. I'm popularly known as Crismo, from Munali here. This is festive season where we spend time with family and friends. Sometimes we go out to have a drink up and to visit places. But mainly we want to drink wherever we go. So we're asking you to be responsible in this festive season so that you drink responsibly.
My name is Reverend Solanjis Chirembe from Trinity Chapel, Zambia. We are in Chalala, in Chilenje South. And this is the festive season, and of course as Christians we're very excited about it. This is when Christ was born. We remember the day that Christ was born, and it's always an exciting thing. There are so many things that happen in this world. And some of the things that when we abuse them, they begin to affect our lives, affect our community, affect our nation, and affect even the future generation. And one such thing is abuse of alcohol. Personally, from my family, from my community, even from my church, I've had experiences where people have been addicted because of the abuse of alcohol especially, and many other drugs. And what has happened is that their purpose, sense of direction, focus, all those things are lost because of the effects, of the abuse of these things. So we are now, this is December, and people will be rejoicing, and many people are planning. I mean, they're stocking up their fridges at home, and waiting for their little bonuses so that they can be able to plan on where they are going to kuchiliza. Just be careful, as you chiliza chizakuliza ndiwe palasti. But my point is, let us be responsible, over these things. They start small. We may think that they are not affecting us because it's just today or this Christmas, but over time you realize that it becomes a habit, and you begin to feel, to focus on your duties, to focus on your house, to focus on your children, on your parents, on your studies if you're a student, because now you are more focused, on getting high and, getting intoxicated and all those things that go with it. So my encouragement from me as a pastor to you is that please, as we get into the festive season, drink responsibly, do all these things responsibly, and remember that there is life after Christmas Day, which is coming this week.
So as you celebrate in this festive season, try not to overdo it and consume too much alcohol. Overindulgence in the wrong kind of spirit can be very bad for your health. And unfortunately, that's quite easy to do. What with all the multitude of alcohols that are on offer for the holidays? If you're not careful, you will get carried away, consuming way more alcohol than planned, which can lead to unintended consequences.
We're wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy 2023, and to cheers responsible drinking.
Drink responsibly and make sure that you don't abuse alcohol. And if you can, stay away from it.
As my Zambia, my responsibility, would like to say cheers to responsible drinking.
Please, let's drink responsibly. Cheers to responsible drinking. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.